Hi, Sierra.
Hello. Congratulations.
Oh, it's just application.
But it's accepted. That's like a hurdle that you had to go over.
Oh, it was in a second immediate. So I just submitted, and it took me 30 minutes for everything. I knew all information and it's immediate answer. So I think it's automatic. No human reviewed that.
I'm pretty sure that they have most of them automatic, but I keep telling people it could be audited because they keep telling us that. Let me start the recording so I don't forget.
Hi, Stefan.
Okay, now the recording is still going. Hey, Stephen.
Hi.
So Irina had her application accepted today. So
Awesome. Great.
it's
It,
done.
fully automatic. So don't be scared.
So when did you have you scheduled? Oh, so you haven't scheduled your test yet?
Oh, did not have time for that, but I will do. My watermark learning expired. I extended for another month because I feel uncertain about that. So it's in a
Okay.
month, I think.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
mine expires September 1st.
uh-huh.
So I'm trying to take it next week. Well, not trying to, I'm
Oh.
going to take it next week.
Keep,
Yes.
keep us
Yeah.
updated how it goes.
Yeah.
It's summertime. It's so relaxing, and my son always wants to go somewhere, and I have to be parent. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
I underestimated that. Was very optimistic at start of summer.
Yeah, I get up really early because it's nice and quiet and
Mm.
everybody's asleep. So I can focus. So that helps.
I started working at 7. Oh, no chance to study before that.
Yeah, I get up at 2. Study for a couple hours and then go back to sleep.
Oh, wow.
that's
Okay.
awesome. What?
Everyone has their own method how to do it
Yeah.
the best way.
Yeah, I
Yep.
need peace and quiet. I have to be able to concentrate without interruption. So that's the only time I can really get that quiet time.
I admire that tenacity. We may be the only ones in the meeting today.
Ah,
I received a message from, let's see, one person's already passed. Two people are not coming, but they're taking theirs, I think, in October.
ah.
Um, and that's all I've heard from today. So it still may just be us. Do y'all have a chapter you'd like to focus on?
Let's maybe simulate the exam just.
Okay. That's not going to give us the answers immediately, right?
Yeah, and by the way, I had a chat with Imal and connected with him, just ask, and he shared his feedback
Yeah.
regarding his exam. Mhm.
What did he say? Anything that we can learn from?
No, his strategy just the opposite is yours, but he explained it that it's his personality. He on purpose took the longest questions first,
Okay.
as long as he's less tired, and then left all the rest because the last third, 1/3 of the time is very challenging. You have a headache and you are tired, and the most of mistakes are done at this time. And he decided to focus on the long read questions first, and then yeah. But it's not a recommendation; it's just how he did it.
Right.
Yeah, and it's all above required level, all his answers. So
Did
yeah.
he?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody that's been in my classes this year and last year have gotten very, very good scores. So I have no concerns about anybody. That doesn't mean that's not going to happen. And it doesn't mean somebody might not have to take it a second time to pass. But
Yeah.
I think I mean, guys, we put in the hours, right? Lots of hours.
It's been
Yeah.
months, so
Months. This is
better
6
now or
months
never.
of weekly classes. Yeah.
We spent half a year together.
We have. We become family now.
Yeah. So
I
is it
only
our last class? Or there will be one more?
Uh, we can do another week if y'all want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
I will study anyway, so if we do it in group, I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, if it's only me, I can do both.
Okay. Well, Stephen, you're taking yours in a few days, right?
Yeah, on Tuesday.
On Tuesday. Okay. Oh, here's Kasi. Kasi hasn't been here for a
Been a
while.
long time.
Kasi's joining us. This is exciting.
Oh,
Hi, Kosi.
hi. Just to confirm, this is the last session?
Well,
I
we're
just want
talking
to say.
this week, the last week, or next week, the last week.
Oh, next week. Okay. Oh,
So if we do it next week, do you want to join us?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Kasi, let me catch you up. We've got one person that's passed. We've got two people that they're not going to be here today because they are taking theirs in October, and I think they've got something else to do tonight.
Okay.
Stephen is taking his test on Tuesday. Irina
Okay.
just got her application accepted today. We're moving, guy. It's
Yeah.
awesome. Here's Bob Churchill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Good
So
luck.
we'll do it today and next week, and then that will be the end.
Oh,
Until February, whenever we start all over again with a brand new class.
I'm gonna miss this.
Yeah, me too. It's just normal routine on Thursday. I'm
Yeah.
studying. A good habit. We will have to find another class.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, is it okay for you to share who passed?
Ayman? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Emal,
Oh, wow.
he joined the class a little bit later than y'all did, but
I
he'd
don't
been
remember seeing
studying.
him.
And Irina says he passed with higher scores on all of the subject areas. So he
Oh,
did good.
wow.
He
Yeah.
also has a doctorate and has owned a business and a whole bunch of other stuff. But he
So,
wanted to do this.
yes.
He's moved to this new country, and he said it's very different because I'm not a business owner anymore. I can't get a job with my doctorate because it's not for this country, and he's working on getting a job.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
obviously he's a smart guy. Hey, Bob. So you folks who weren't in the last class, Bob is traveling the world, traveling United States and Canada right now. He's in Canada, and
Okay.
then he's going to be traveling again and then coming down, and he's going to visit me here in Missouri. So he's just like doing the thing. He's introducing his car to all the new places.
Great.
And on your behind, don't die. It's really pretty simple.
Okay. Irina and Stephen and Kasi, do y'all have a specific chapter you'd like to focus on, or do you want to do the whole simulation?
Yeah. Let's do it the way you suggested, that without answering, submit, and then so it should show us all answers at once.
In that case, I'm going to go to one that I've already started, because some of these I've started and we never answered. And so we can go to view this questions. Okay. So what's wrong with this use case diagram? What do y'all see that's weird about it? Here are possible answers. There's too many actors for the numbers of use cases. There's too many cross lines. The market actor is not connected to any use case, or the cast parts use case is connected to too many actors. First of all,
Share the
Hannah,
screen?
am I not sharing my screen?
I can see your screen.
Yeah, I can see a screen too.
Okay.
Okay, so I know you told me how to make it appear again. How would
I'm going, it's something up in the top right-hand corner, view. I think it's view.
okay.
Check that out. I dropped the use case into the chat in case you can't see it. So guys, is there a rule that says a use case can only have a certain number of connectors? Nope,
Not
that's
that
not a
I'm
rule.
aware of. Yeah.
Is there a rule that says an actor can only be connected to a certain number of use cases?
No, it's this one is orphan. This should be the right answer.
This
C.
poor marketing guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Show all explanations.
Yeah.
The marketing actor is not connected. This is a valid issue. All actors in a use case diagram should be connected to at least one use case. Marketing is not connected to any, so it should not appear as an actor. Y'all know.
I clicked on view, I just see speaker, gallery, multi-speaker.
Try side by side gallery.
Clicked on gallery, just shows everyone's faces.
Oh, that's horrible. Stop it. Okay. Goodness, I don't know what to tell you. I guess I would just try them all.
Now we can do stop sharing and share again.
Yes, okay, I'll do that.
Mhm.
Cassie's one of the most brilliant people I know. I just want you to know that. I'm going to share this one and then I'm going to switch it over.
Thank you.
Cassie, Esther said, let's wait till Cassie gets here. He'll have it figured out whenever we had this major gnarly problem earlier. Okay, Stephen, can you see it now?
I can see it.
Woohoo! Look at us go. See, it's because Cassie was here and he's do that. Okay, so this is a case study. It's super long. Before we read it, which of these represents the best statement of business needs? So it's giving us 4 different statements. We're going to have to read the case study to figure out which one is best. Have I read this one to y'all recently for Bell's Bags?
I don't remember that.
Okay, I
don't
had it
remember.
for another class, so I couldn't remember which class that was. Okay, I'm going to read it. Bell's Bags is a rapidly growing online seller of handbags and purses, wallets, and accessories. Belle began making handbags as a hobby to sell at local art fairs. They were so popular that she decided to become an entrepreneur and start selling through the internet. She's become so successful that she employs hundreds of people, including many working at the distribution center, or DC, 24/7. Bell sells to individuals and wholesale to a number of other retailers. Customers may be either individuals or businesses. An individual can also be a business. For example, Marissa Fortis might buy a purse for herself and a variety of product for her retail business. Most of the business customers are boutique retailers. Orders are placed online. There's no limit to the number of line items that can be placed on an order. An order isn't really an order unless at least one item has been ordered. Each line item is associated with a specific order. An order system checks immediately to see if an item is in stock in the inventory system. If in stock, the item on the order are reserved and immediately transmitted to the DC where they are filled and shipped. If any of the items on the order are out of stock, that item is placed in a status of open. When open item is received at the DC, the order system is updated immediately and the item filled. The status of each item is updated along the way in a variety of systems, including order, inventory, accounting, picking, and shipping systems. When a customer inquires about the status of an order online, they must enter in the order number, and then the system checks the status of each order item on the order in each of the systems where it's stored. Once found, the system displays the status of the item. When the customer calls about the status of an order item, the CSR, customer service representative, must check each system individually. From CEO Bell Bright, we're experiencing tremendous growth pains and our slow systems are not keeping up. We do care about customer service. The number of complaints has increased about 10% over the last 2 years. Some of the comments on social media can be quite nasty. From the customer service supervisor, Don Murphy, boy, do we need a new order processing software around here. We have lots of customer complaints. For example, when customers would like to check on their order status, it takes forever because the order system must request information from multiple systems, some of which are very slow. Sigh. From the VP of Finance, Oscar Coyne, we need to create a link between our AP systems and invoicing. That should be our #1 priority. We need to get into the 21st century. Let's get financial software like everyone else has. From the VP of Logistics, Peter Piker. Although orders are sent to us immediately, we still have to manually create pick tickets to fill the order. These are actual pieces of paper. Do you believe that? Getting everything online has to be our #1 priority. We need to get into the 20th century. Let's get logistics software like everyone else has. So I want you to notice that they want to get into the 21st century and they want to be in a totally different century. They're not friends. They're not going to talk. No. Which one is the best, represents the best statement of business need? Remember business need in the BABOK. We have experienced a 10% increase in complaints over the last 2 years related to checking the status of items in an order. This results in bad public relations and the risk of losing customers, not getting new customers, and lost revenue. We need to fix our slow systems like the order accounting and logistics systems. Our current system, like the order accounting and logistics systems, are too slow and need to be updated. The order system needs to contain the status of the order, and the accounting system needs a link between the AP and invoicing, and the DC system needs to be online. Our current systems, like the order accounting and logistics systems, are too slow and need to be updated. We need to create the link between our AP system and invoicing. We need to research the possibility of purchasing accounting and/or logistics software. Now, according to the BABOK, which one of these is a business need?
Maybe D.
Yeah, I'm thinking between C and D as well. And I wanted to see what is the difference between C and D.
Okay.
But
Stephen, what do you think?
I know it's problems and opportunities, so that's what I'm looking for in the statement. I'm looking at C and D.
I will say C.
Okay.
I think it might. There's a link between AP and invoices.
Did they say something about a clearing accounting software to get into the 21st century? I think it was.
Okay.
Because like when I look at C, it says the accounting system needs a link between AP and invoicing. It seems like they already have a solution in mind.
Mm-hmm.
And in D, it says we need to research the possibility of purchasing accounting or logistics software.
Yeah, maybe C is better.
They also talked about creating a link in the.
So a business need in the BABOK is another way of saying a problem statement. This is talking about here's the problem and here's the result. This need is a problem or opportunity to be addressed. This response tells us what the current situation is and why it's a problem. It quantifies the problem and presents real external threat that needs to be avoided.
Okay.
Okay.
When I was thinking of opportunity, I was thinking of something that you want to explore.
Mm-hmm.
This is saying more like percentages and the result or the negative result if it's not addressed.
Right. This is kind of, think about a business need being part of like the business case that says, this is the current situation and this is what's going to happen if we don't fix it.
Okay.
Mhm.
So that means once a business need is fixed or resolved, it's no longer a need anymore.
That would be true.
Okay.
These talk about potential solutions. This is a problem and here's the solution. This is talking about here's the problem and it gives a quantity. And then here's what's going to happen if we don't fix it.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go to the next question on the same problem. Which of these statements express the cardinality of the relationships according to the case study? This is challenging because it talked about a lot of relationships in there. So cardinality, which one is accurate? There's a many-to-many relationship between business customers and individual customers. That is, business customers can also be an individual customer and vice versa. There's a many-to-many relationship between orders and shipments. That is, each shipment can contain multiple orders, and each order can be split across many shipments. This relationship will have to be resolved. There is a one-to-many relationship between orders and statuses. That is, each order can have multiple statuses, but each status is for one and only one order. There's a one-to-many relationship between orders and items in the order. That is, each order has to contain at least one item, but each item is contained on one and only one order. Can you eliminate any?
We say D only because of but each item is contained on one and only one order. I will eliminate that.
You would eliminate that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of the last sentence.
So what do you think the right answer is?
This question is really tough.
I will tell you, this is one of the tougher questions I've seen. So
Okay.
don't beat yourself up if you're having challenges with it.
Maybe C.
Okay. Got one vote for C. Do I have a second vote?
Try
Okay.
C.
Let's test it.
What?
Yep. The cardinality of this answer is correct. The case study states there's no limit to the number of items that can be placed in an order, but an order really isn't an order unless it has at least one item.
Wait.
The rest of these, the cardinality is misrepresented in the way it's answered.
But okay, now I have a question. So you see
Okay.
that last piece that said, but each item is contained on one and only one order. So the way I understood it is like you can only place like an order when you have at least one item.
Okay, so an order has to have at least one item. So if I order a pink fluffy down jacket, that pink fluffy down jacket can only be on one order. It cannot be on my order and your order. You can have the same thing that I have, but I can only have that pink fluffy down jacket. I'm not sharing with you.
Okay, so that means regardless of the numbers of the item, like assume that you wanted two, pink, yeah.
No, say it. Say the whole thing. Come on.
But okay, I think okay. Well, that was a really
So-
tricky one.
If I have a fedora on my order, you can't have my fedora. You can have your own fedora. Each item is contained on one and only one order.
Yeah, okay, I get that. But I was under the impression that it was referring to the numbers of item actually.
I understand,
Yeah.
but that's not what I said.
Okay.
Each item is contained on one and only one order.
Okay.
So I'm gonna look beautiful in my pink fluffy jacket and my fedora. It's gonna have a feather. Okay, let's go to the next one. Down here. Which one of the statements?
Gotta be a
expresses the most-
3 foot long feather like Steve
Yes,
Martin.
it's gonna be a peacock feather. Yes, how did you know? Might have two, I don't know. Which one of these statements expresses the most effective way for the BA to resolve conflict among stakeholders about how to meet the business need? So we need the effective way for the BA to resolve conflict on this thing that they obviously don't agree with. So would the BA facilitate several meetings to discuss the difference among stakeholders, ensuring that they have an opportunity to express their feelings and needs, ensure an outcome that satisfies the needs of the stakeholder and aligns with the business need? The intent is to strengthen the relationship among the affected stakeholders. Or would the BA talk to the stakeholders individually, ensure that the BA understands the real need behind the stated need, have a meeting with the sponsor to discuss those needs, encourage the sponsor to talk to the stakeholders and get them on board? The intent is to ensure all parties are heard. How do y'all feel about that one? Do we like this one or not?
Would prefer having everyone together as opposed to
It depends how many stakeholders. It can be time consuming.
Yeah, but is there anywhere in the BABOK where it says go to the sponsor and encourage the sponsor to do a job?
No.
No, it's not in the BABOK. Okay, facilitate a meeting, list all the needs on the board. Everyone gets to choose their top two priorities. After the other needs have been eliminated, each stakeholder votes on their top choice. The intent is to ensure all parties are heard and that they have input into the outcome. The business analyst ensures that the outcome aligns with the business need. How do you feel about that one?
Better.
Okay, better. Last one, talk to the sponsor. Since the sponsor makes the ultimate decision about priorities, set up a meeting to communicate the sponsor's decision to the affected stakeholders. This conflict resolution technique is used when the initiative is stuck, when there are tight time frames, and when not having a decision would delay the initiative. The intent is to ensure that development on the solution is not delayed and all parties can move forward. How do you feel about that one?
I like the previous one, like
Yeah, me too.
straight to the
Okay.
sponsor.
So you like C better than any of them?
Yeah, then D. Mhm.
Okay, how
Why
about A?
not A?
A. It just reminds me of like collaboration between the stakeholders, like they're working towards the same goal.
Okay,
They're expressing what their needs are, but
are
you're
you
still
talking about A or C right now, Stephen?
Mm. So C is one meeting, A is several meetings.
So C is everyone gets to choose their top two priorities and then eliminate everything else. Okay, let's check the answers.
A. Mhm.
So this one is an invented variation on compromise where no one gets everything they want, but where they have input and they get some things that are important to them. But the BABOK doesn't talk about this. This one is the one that takes the negotiation and conflict resolution skills. It suggests probably take multiple meetings to have all parties be heard, but have their feelings and needs expressed. But the intent is to strengthen the relationship among the affected stakeholders and have everybody heard. That's what the BABOK
So-
says.
You might do any of these things. A is the best in an ideal world. If you start running out of time, you'll have to take shortcuts like multi-voting and so on. which may leave people's feelings being heard. If you need a decision super fast, the highest paid person's opinion rules. And so in general, what these things are going for, unless they explicitly state otherwise, is the best possible answer. Maybe not the most efficient, but the best.
So if you had challenges with that, I encourage you to read the negotiation and conflict resolution skills section. Okay, next, to help understand the requirements involving orders as they interact with the inventory, accounting, picking, and shipping systems, which technique would help the business analyst during requirements analysis and design definition the most, and why? So during requirements analysis and design definition is when we document our requirements, right? And then we talk to people about what the requirements are. So would we use state modeling to help understand the various states an order goes through? Process modeling to document the handoffs affecting the orders amongst the various systems? Scope modeling to understand the boundaries of the order processes and their interfaces to other systems? Or concept modeling to discover current business relationships that orders have to various systems? Do you have a strong feeling about one of these being the best thing to use?
Scope modeling. C.
Scope modeling?
Mhm.
Why do you like C more than A?
Interesting. Various states of order.
So does scope modeling help you understand the boundaries? Or does scope modeling help you understand the states? I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Scope modeling and state modeling.
Various states.
Why are any better than process modeling? Because if you do process modeling correctly, it'll include states and scope.
That's a various
But you
And
gotta answer
concept.
according to the BABOK.
Yeah. Well,
I-
I like process model first, foremost, and
I know.
always. And when
Always.
that doesn't do it, then I'll do other things.
So maybe A, yeah, answer of this question is A. Various
Steven,
states
opinion?
and order goes through.
Cassie, do you have an opinion?
I will stick with C regardless.
Okay. I like your tenacity.
Yeah.
The case study emphasizes the interaction amongst the various systems and the importance of the order status as mentioned. State modeling is done to specify the different states of a part of a solution throughout the life cycle. So as status changes, the state changes. I don't know if I've ever told y'all this. My favorite state model is the open or closed door. It's either open or it's closed. It's not open and closed. It's either open or closed. So the order is shipped or it's not shipped. You know, the order is picked or it's not picked. It's makes it easy. That's what a state model is.
This question is a little difficult because the way things are done in the real world, it's the BABOK have to tell you something, and they have to ask questions that get at something, but the real world is messier.
It is messier. Why is it important for a BA to identify and understand stakeholders' attitudes toward the project? To categorize stakeholders in the power interest grid, to understand stakeholders' needs and specifically plan how to collaborate and engage with the stakeholders, to know how stakeholders will contribute to the initiative, or would, or to know if stakeholders are for or against the initiative. What does the BABOK say is the answer to this?
C.
D. Let me see.
It's, I'm thinking between B and C, but more to C than to B.
Okay.
Because our goal is to have them contribute to the initiative. And like the method of that, it's like we understand their need and engage them, la la la.
Yeah.
So that's how I think about that. So I would go for C.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think he is more like roles. So
Okay.
let's go with D.
I will say B.
Okay. We need to understand their attitudes to understand their needs and specifically plan how to collaborate and engage with them. Additionally, understanding stakeholders' attitude will help the BA understand what may impact the stakeholders' actions. Okay, I told my earlier class today this. Every time I see this word, my brain reads altitude and it freezes because I'm trying to figure out how high off the ground is this stakeholder because I'm seeing this picture. Y'all have no idea what goes on in my brain. It's probably a good thing. Sarah is working on enhancements to the organization's human resources system. She would like to model an employee's life cycle from the time they are a recruit until they're no longer with the company, along with triggers that change their status. Which of the following diagrams would best suit her objective? Is this a use case diagram, a process diagram, a sequence diagram, or a state diagram?
See the word status again.
State diagram. Maybe sequence.
It is a state diagram. It shows the changes in the status. Status and state are kind of the same word, same meaning.
But quick question, in the real world, right? You can actually use a process diagram to do that too. I mean,
You can indicate state on a process diagram, yes.
okay.
Well, it's also true that in the process diagram, the location of an entity is the state. So they're a little interchangeable.
Okay. Thank you.
So Bob is going to tell you that this is just me, but I love swim lane diagram with state identified and then time frame for each phase so that you can measure things and see who the handoffs are and make it just clean and clear. It gives me giddy. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
Actually, I
Use
think
the tools that make you happy. Everyone will develop their own style as long as the information is included and conveyed and understood.
right. And there's sometimes you don't need all the stuff I just said. Only do what's needed for that moment. Make it as lean and easy for your people to understand as possible. Requirements may be modeled using a variety of formats. Which of the following correctly lists the types of requirement formats? So this is straight out of the BABOK. Is it logical, physical, formal, informal? Text, matrices, diagrams, throwaway, evolutionary, functional, or text, matrices, graphical? Can we eliminate something?
Yeah, A. Informal. I don't remember that in the book.
Okay. Is C talking about types of requirement formats?
Throw away. I don't think so. So eliminate A, C.
These are types.
So maybe B is the right answer. So text, matrices, and diagrams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Very simple.
Graphical. It must be B.
you're correct. So these are prototypes. These are not modeling requirements, and graphical is not a modeling requirement. You got it right. Business analysts must be effective in generating alternative solutions that solve the business need or problem. Which of the following is the underlying competency that would be helpful in this endeavor? So whenever we are generating alternative solutions that solve a business need or problem, that's the definition for which task. Do you remember?
Brainstorming.
Okay.
Brainstorming is a technique, but creative thinking is the underlying competency.
Underlying competencies would be helpful in this endeavor.
Generating productively considering new ideas is a stated effectiveness measure of creative thinking. The effectiveness measures for the underlying competencies are a big deal.
We
I
should
do
distinguish
not
between.
know when I see some of these questions how I pass this test. I really don't know. Except that I think there weren't a lot of questions like that on the actual exam.
The exam is pretty much totally just situations. Here's the situation. What would you do? And they followed the concepts in the BABOK. Which of the following is an example of the technique to help maintain requirements? Is it business constraint analysis, acceptance and evaluation criteria, item tracking, or data modeling? First, are all of these techniques, guys?
I don't know about business constraint analysis. That's
Yeah,
not
BCD techniques.
Not in the BABOK. So what is the technique to help maintain requirements?
maintaining requirements.
I'm going to go ahead and choose explanations. This one was hard in my opinion because this is part of the purpose. Data modeling is used to identify data structures that may be similar across the enterprise in order to facilitate reuse, which is another way of saying maintaining requirements. I don't think I would have gotten that right had I not seen this like last week. But now you are going to get it right.
Okay.
Data modeling is part of maintaining requirements because it facilitates reuse.
Yeah, I saw acceptance and evaluation criteria earlier today, but I just couldn't remember which
This
one.
is for approving requirements. Item tracking is used to track issues and conflicts discovered during impact analysis. And this one is totally invented.
I don't think you'll get a question that goofy on the exam. That said, it's good to know the actual definition.
Yep, I agree. The corporate office of a financial services company recently locked into a new one-year healthcare plan that, while saving the organization a substantial amount of money for the year, significantly changed the terms of the employees' healthcare plans. That change was found to be the reason for a recent decrease in employee satisfaction. Upon discovery that the change in the healthcare plan caused lower employee satisfaction and considering all other factors, the BA recommended that the organization do nothing. Was this the right recommendation? Possible answers. No. The BA should recommend retiring the solution and introducing another that better meets the employee's needs. Yes, it's not feasible or even possible to change it. No, the BA should recommend a way to enhance it to increase solution value. Or no, there's always something you can do.
So
According to the BABOK.
it's already locked, and we cannot change it. Yeah. So
Okay,
we have to live with this healthcare plan for another year.
okay,
So that's was this the right recommendation? Yeah, yes.
yep. We can't change it. Unfortunately, the organization is locked into the healthcare plan for the calendar year. What does RACI stand for? I'll let y'all read those.
D.
Accountable consultant in form D.
That one.
Mhm.
That is correct. Responsible, accountable, consulted, informed. Incidentally, I had somebody say the other day, we ought to add another I at the end and do impacted, because that's going to identify a lot more stakeholders that might want to be consulted or informed or involved. I thought that was a pretty good idea. A business analyst recommends a specific change strategy to reach the future state as part of the business case. The change strategy included several phases spanning 2 years, a cumulative quantitative financial analysis, including detailed costs and benefits analysis of the overall initiative, a timeline for each phase, resources needed for each phase, and the organizational readiness assessment to make the change. The governance team reviewed their recommended change strategy and asked for more information. The BA was perplexed since they thought it was already too detailed. What might the recommendation be missing? The governance team was lacking understanding of the total value this change initiative would provide. The governance team was lacking alternative with the associated analysis. The governance team was lacking information as to the cost and benefit associated with each phase or transition state, or the governance team was lacking resource utilization information.
I don't see anything about alternatives.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you think it's this one?
Mhm.
B.
Yeah, I agree. Just recommends accumulate
That
So,
would have
this
been
is-
my thing. So they talked about the cost, but not the benefit.
Right.
We need both to evaluate an option.
So your business case has to have the forecasted value, which is the cost benefits associated with each transition phase.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay. Next, same question. The business analyst supplemented the information, resubmitted the recommendation, and gained approval for the change strategy. However, the project took twice as long to implement the strategy than forecasted because resources with the required knowledge were not available due to conflicting priorities. What did the business analyst fail to do as part of their recommendation? Guys, this is not real world. This is what the BABOK says. Okay.
Mhm.
The business analyst failed to negotiate with the required resources manager for their time. The business analyst failed to perform an enterprise readiness assessment. The business analyst failed to develop a RACI matrix to define and assign implementation responsibilities, or the business analyst neglected to state specifically the resources required to implement the solution in the business case.
Maybe D.
Okay, I've got a vote for D
Say B.
and B. Okay, Kasi, I need a tiebreaker.
I'm literally reading through this, so I won't be give you the most objective answer here. Because I was away from my laptop, sorry.
Fine.
Yeah.
The answer is B. An enterprise readiness assessment is an element in the defined change strategy task, which takes into consideration the availability of resources. In the real world, it's typically the project manager that's taking care of the availability of resources. That is a little bit outside of my role as a BA, but I mean, enterprise readiness has a whole bunch of other stuff in it, but the project manager does this part. But according to the BABOK, this is what we do. Okay, which task of a solution evaluation is responsible for identifying the root causes for underperforming and ineffective solutions and solution components? So this is the task in chapter 8. Is it assess solution limitations, financial analysis, measure solution performance, or assess enterprise limitations? Can we eliminate one?
Financial analysis. Eliminate it.
Eliminate it.
And enterprise limitation also eliminate.
Because this is talking about the solution.
Assess solution limitations is the right answer.
Okay,
Yes.
you are correct. Very nice. A business analyst presents a set of questions to stakeholders and subject matter experts whose responses are then collected and analyzed in order to formulate knowledge about the subject matter of interest. Which elicitation technique is the business analyst applying? Sets of questions, and then the responses are collected and analyzed. Is that questioning, focus group, group interview, or survey?
Survey D.
Focus group.
Focus group.
Focus group, yeah.
Okay.
We are presenting a set of questions.
Whenever it talks about the responses being collected, there's in a focus group, there's nothing to collect. It's a discussion with the moderator. The survey would be collected. And then they do the analysis. Whenever I think about the analysis of this, I always think about, 43% of the respondents returned a result of 3, which is considered the best way to teach something. Use a mix of visual, auditory, and hands-on activities. Use hands-on exercises to reinforce the new material. Test the learner's knowledge, or use a formal presentation and exercises.
I would say A. Mix of visual, auditory, and hands-on activities because you're using multiple senses.
Yes, it is. This ensures you reach all the learning styles. Yes, Bob.
Have you heard of the BARK model? BARK.
BARK.
Visual, auditory, reading, and kinesthetic or doing.
Yep.
So that's an interesting idea or concept to have in your back pocket. It's not explicitly in the BABA.
Right.
It's just good to know, and it would help you with this question because they listed 3 of them.
It's a perfect example of what they're talking about, isn't it? What are all the inputs to define requirements architecture tasks? So this is the task. The input for define requirements architecture. Is it information management approach, requirements trace, solution scope? Information management system, requirements trace, solution scope? Information management system requirements any state solution scope, or information management approach requirements any state solution scope? So first, is it approach or system?
Approach.
Okay. Eliminate these 2. Is it requirements traced or requirements any state?
Think any state.
Any state, yeah.
Okay. You are correct. These are the inputs for this task. So, Cassie, I've asked everybody else, when are you going to be taking your test?
I was honestly planning to take it in August, but it's too late now. So the plan I have is to take my CBAP in November.
Why are you waiting that long?
I need to catch up on the last chapter. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you do whatever you gotta do, but don't wait too long because it's easy to just keep pushing it out.
Yeah.
Set yourself a date. And
Yeah.
don't set it out so far that you're sick of it before it gets here.
Okay.
Finn is a BA working on a newly implemented logistics process for a package supply company. He began gathering performance metrics on such things as how long the process took versus how long it took to get inputs from one area to another, defects of the output, duplicate steps, number of complaints, etc. The department supervisor complained to Finn that gathering these statistics was a waste of time. She said she would rather spend his time gathering requirements for automation to support the processes. What rationale does Finn offer for his activities? Would he say, the gathered measurements will support the automation project? He needs to keep an eye out for defects so he can address them in a timely way to ensure customer satisfaction. The information is needed as inputs into a SWOT analysis for the new automation project, or is he working to understand and validate the value that is delivered by the implemented solution?
D. Delta.
I'm leaning on D. He's working to understand and validate the
Okay.
fact. That was the good word.
You're correct. Ben is gathering the actual metrics that describe the performance of the solution in order to measure and analyze solution performance. Which of the following would you consider when searching for external stakeholders? Would you consider shareholders, end users, project charter, or stakeholder influence?
End users internal, customer external. Some of them are internal, some of them external.
I think like customer is external,
External, yeah, and user internal.
internal.
Correct?
So shareholders.
Project charters.
I think shareholders are external.
External.
I think so. Yeah.
Shareholders.
Yeah.
Correct. Shareholders, along with governing bodies, existing contracts, anticipated vendors, customers, and suppliers, will help identify external stakeholders. Requirements may be related to each other in several ways when defining the requirements architecture. VAs examine each of these relationships to ensure that they satisfy quality criteria. Which of the following is not a quality criteria? Would it be necessary, correct, testable, or unambiguous?
Correct. B is the right answer.
Okay.
Why?
So testable is not one of the criterion for quality criterion.
Necessary, correct, or ambiguous.
I don't have my spreadsheet open to tell you all. I think there's 5 of them. I think testable is in SMART, right?
The 5 are defined, necessary, correct, unambiguous, and consistent.
That's correct.
Testable isn't one.
Okay.
Thank you, Stephen.
I already answering wrongly, not the first time for this question.
You're gonna get it. It just shows you a gap. Okay. So what is one of the first things you need to do to ensure a successful outcome? Work to establish effective working relationships with the stakeholders involved. Work with key stakeholders to develop a shared consensus and vision of the outcome. Define the definition done, or find out from the sponsor how realistic the 4-month deadline really is. So let's read this thing. Do y'all remember Sail Away? Is this new to you, or have you seen it before?
I've never seen it.
Okay. Sail Away is a startup company that will allow sailboat owners to offer their boats to rent or charter, the term commonly used in the boating industry. Boat owners all over the world will be able to list their boats for charter, and customers will be able to locate boats that meet their specifications and charter them. For boat owners, SailAway will provide the ability to list a boat for charter on a specific location, provide a description of the boat and its amenities, provide pictures of the boat, list charter rates by season, and optionally accept credit cards for deposits and payments through SailAway's credit card handling services. SailAway will also provide optional boat insurance during the charter period. For customers wishing to charter a boat, SailAway will provide the ability to search for boats based upon location, size, and amenities. Customers will be able to contact the owners, send deposits and payments by credit card if the boat owner offers that service, and write the review of the boat after their charter completes. The site will also offer vacation insurance chart coverages. If the site does well, SailAway plans to branch out and offer a sister site called MotorAway, a site that will offer charters for motor yachts. If you're part of the Scrum team, you are part of the Scrum team formed for this project. Your project owner, Claire Buford, is from the product marketing department. You'll be using Scrum, and which you have a limited experience, and you have a newly certified Scrum Master. Beginning 4 months from now, there will be a major marketing push to get the boat owners to list their boats and make potential charter customers aware of the site. Claire needs to have at least a basic site up and running by that time. From the Scrum Master. I talked to our project sponsor, the owner of SailAway. Basically, what he's looking for is a website up and running in 4 months. The website will connect boat owners with customers who want to rent boats. This will include international boat owners and customers. Boat owners that will be able to list their boats, including descriptions and photos. Customers will indicate which boats they want and will be able to pay. There will have to be some security features and penalties for boats that are returned damaged or not returned at all. The sponsor wants the website fully functional when we go live. You know how sponsors are. They want everything and never want to pay for anything. The budget is going to be very important. We're going to have to watch costs carefully. I'm thinking we need to contract developers. We'll need contract developers, and and they're not cheap. We need a team that can do the testing. I think we're going to need to purchase automated testing software. That'll take a chunk out of the budget. Anyhow, let's get the test team assembled and get going right away. You are the business analyst assigned to the delivery team for the duration of the effort to create the initial SailAway website. Because Scrum is still somewhat new to your organization, several team members have voiced their concerns about such things as who has the authority and responsibility to propose changes to the features and who ideally would be involved in the change discussions. Also of concern is who will analyze and approve any changes to priorities during the project. Given the organization's past reliance on requirements documents, you also have an interest on how the requirements and changes to them will be handled. So, what's the first thing you need for a successful outcome?
I mean, it's between A and B, like effective working relationships with all stakeholders involved. But then they need to be on the same page of how things should be done, because they're talking about how changes should be made and
One of first things.
who has the
So A goes first and then shared consensus. So maybe.
Okay.
yeah, let's
Cassie,
try
do
that.
you have an opinion?
We say A.
Let's test A. A is correct. The case study mentions the business need is understood. The business analyst approach is assumed to be adaptive given the selection of Scrum and the overall approach. With those in place, the next logical step is planned stakeholder engagement, which this answer essentially describes. Very good. Assume that you have performed some stakeholder analysis and identified how to best collaborate and communicate with them. What is your best choice to address the concerns expressed in the case study about responsibility and authority for handling changes? Do you wait for requirements approval once construction and implementation of solution meeting specific requirements have begun? Do you identify the appropriate decision makers and process needed for decisions will be made? Do you work with the key stakeholders to gain consensus on change requirements and communicate the outcome of the discussions and track and manage the approval? Or do you bring up the concerns of the Scrum Master with the Scrum Master and facilitate the resolution to them?
Let's say B. Identify the appropriate decision makers and the process needed for the decision to be made. So that'll be like governance.
It does
always
sound
said
like
that-
governance, doesn't it? Let's test it. This is a partial description of the planned business analysis governance, which uses the BA approach and stakeholder engagement approach as inputs. It would specifically address the concerns about how the changes will be handled. If Scrum is followed, the product owner would be the appropriate decision maker. If the team is self-organizing, it would be responsible for the process.
Honestly, I would have say C though, honestly. But I read what they said and kind of makes sense.
Okay. Next question. The team has decided that they will use index cards to document their user stories and will attach post-it notes to them to record data requirements and acceptance criteria. What has the team defined? Is this the information management approach, requirements specified and modeled, requirement architecture, or user story conversation? What can we eliminate?
Use a story conversation.
Not in the BABOK. So what is the right answer?
Looking at the word record, the words record data.
So
Say recording
B.
data.
Requirements specified in the modeled.
Okay. Kasi, what do you think?
I would go with B as well.
Okay.
Information management.
No?
Why?
So requirements specified and modeled describes the deliverables produced from specifying and modeling requirements. This question has not mentioned that any modeling is take place, only what the team intends to do whenever it's done. Information management approach is the defined approach for how business analysis information will be stored, accessed, and utilized during the change and after the change is complete. How are we going to store it?
That makes sense.
Okay. Once the project is underway and the need arises to prioritize requirements, how will sail away team prioritize the requirements? Will it be prioritized according to the decided change strategy, according to the decided governance approach, based upon the business need, or the product owner decides?
I would eliminate D. It's not in BABOK. Based on business
Okay.
need.
B. Because that is prioritization.
Maybe C, based on the business need.
Okay. Now, what method are we using again for this project?
Say it again.
What method are we using? What framework are we using for this project?
Scrum.
Scrum.
It's going to be Scrum. Okay. It's going to be decided according to the decided governance approach. It outlines the approach for prioritizing requirements. The Scrum process for prioritizing requirements will be influenced and dictate the BA governance approach. Bear in mind, the governance approach does not prescribe how formal or informal the governance approach is, or how formally or informally the governance decisions are made. Now, the product owner decides is a common understanding of how Scrum works, but that's not what the BABOK says. Good catch, Irina. Okay, we have done 25. Let's do one more for fun. How can backlog management be helpful when analyzing and recommending a solution? Backlog management can be used to determine the expected benefits, used to sequence the potential value, used to determine the expected cost, or used to determine the potential value.
I would eliminate C, not about cost.
I agree.
Used to sequence, and B also sequence the potential value. I don't know. Expected benefit.
Actually, that is the answer.
B,
Yeah.
B is to sequence.
In managing the backlog, the items at the top have the highest business value and the highest priority. You sequence them literally. You put the ones that have the highest value at the top, sequencing them from most value to least
Yeah.
value.
You do the stuff that gives the most bang for the buck first. That's what prioritization is. And there's a balance. But sometimes you need to prioritize technical stuff. So you can derive value either this time or later. So it's a mix of pure economic and technical need.
So whenever you're prioritizing your backlog in the real world, you're going to do it 2 times. You're going to do it over and over, but the business is going to do their prioritization. This is the biggest value. Then the technical folks are going to say, but we have to do it in this order, and it's going to cost this much for each thing. Then the business is going to come back and go, okay, that one's not worth it, so we're going to drop it. Or, this one we can live with you prioritizing it to a different location in the order. But it always starts.
It's always a negotiation, and it's ongoing.
And every single time there's a change to a single requirement, it has to be reprioritized. And the POs sometimes get really sick of prioritizing, but that's their job. Okay, guys, do y'all have any questions?
Keep studying.
Keep studying.
You
Okay.
guys are actually doing really well, as I'm sure Thea would tell you. Because
yes,
where you're getting tripped up is where these questions are goofy. That said, Thea has insights that are beyond me because she's done this so much. So at this level.
So, Stephen, you take your test on Tuesday. We look forward to
Yes.
hearing whatever the result is. We're going to support you. Irina, you're going to schedule your test, right?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Cassie, I encourage you to do it sooner than later if you feel ready. If you need the discount on getting this test so you can take it on your own, the 40% discount is still Tampa 21.
Okay.
So to get it, you go up here to, let me just go to exam. You go down here to new subscribers.
Yeah.
You put in your information here. You go to subscribers, you put in your information here. Then on the next page is where you put in Tampa 21 if you need
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're
So,
welcome.
Be
when I
afraid
renew,
of it. Jump in, do it at least once. Then you can target what you seem to be weak on, if anything. I think you will kill it.
Yeah. Thank
And
you.
remember, this is harder than the real test. Every single time, it's harder. It's wonkier. It has which one is not the right answer. You're not going to see any of that on the real test.
Okay.
And don't forget, review estimation. the estimation techniques. And that list of quality categories, whatever that is, you know, needed. That one. No, necessary. That one.
Yeah, that's what you're referring to.
Okay. Did y'all know that Cassie's going to join the board of the Tampa Bay IIBA? He didn't know that.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
he really did know that. I'm kidding. We are talking to him about becoming the next vice president of technology after Esther moves into the vice president of professional development whenever I move on into other stuff. So if
Okay.
y'all are interested in being on our board, you can let us know. That'd be great. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.
Thank
Bye.
you.
You
Bye
too.
bye,
Good night.
everyone. Good luck, Stephen.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, good luck.
You're gonna rock it.
Yeah, you will.